Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about why traveling is important. A lot of people love traveling and a lot of people probably don't want to or don't care about it or just never really thought about it. So I'm going to be talking about why it's actually beneficial and important. So let's get started. So I'm talking about traveling in general. It could literally be to just the city closest to you. It can be another state or it could be another country. I've been to almost all states in the United States of America, and then I've been out of the country like 3 times. And I learned a lot through it. So I'm talking about like any traveling in general, just traveling to another place that's not where you live. The first benefit of traveling is that it brings you perspective. It gives you just a wider perspective on life. Sometimes we get so caught up in how we live and where we live that we think this is the only that the way that we live is the only way to live. The place that we live is very similar to others, so people are going through the same thing in other places, or that's what we tend to think, but it's not true. Every city, every state, every country is different and unique in their own way. And so when you travel and actually experience that and learn that, it brings you just a wider perspective of different things and also people. You meet different kinds of people. Even if you think that it's just a city that's like an hour from me, how could it be so different from where I live? But it is. Every city, every community, every state and every country has their own culture and has their own way of living. Whether it's a very little difference from how you live or whether it's a very big difference from how you live, it's still a difference, and there still is a difference. So it kind of also keeps you from being ignorant, not like the bad ignorant, just maybe like, sometimes we're not aware about what others are going through and how others live, and that we think that that our way is the only way. It's the only way to live. That we forget that there's other people. So it could be like you can travel. It's for example, it's like if you stay where you are, if you live in a very good community, if you never travel to a bad community, you'll never know that others have it very differently than you do. So that's just an example, but I'm talking about in general. It just gives you a bigger perspective of how things work, how the world is working, how your country is doing. Having a big perspective and different perspective on things is always a good benefit. The second thing I would say is that it gives you a lot more knowledge and experience. When you have a lot of experience, you gain more knowledge. You learn about different cultures, about different ways of living, different kinds of people. What do they eat? How do they live? How do they enjoy themselves? That is all just so fun to learn, and you gain so much knowledge. And again, you learn that there's so much out there. And there's so many different kinds of people and so many different places. It's also really good and therapeutic to get out of the daily routine. Going to different places, like I've been to like different national parks, different monuments in every state that I've been. And it's amazing to learn. And it's also, you learn a lot of history too. Whether you live in the United States or in Canada or wherever else, you learn history. And if you don't really care much about history, then okay, but it really does help you gain a lot of knowledge. And when you have knowledge, again, remember, knowledge is power. So you learn so much, and there's beautiful, 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 beautiful places. You think maybe your place is beautiful, or maybe you're not really satisfied with where you live, and so it's really nice and relaxing, and sometimes just really fun to go out and see different places. It's experience that really, it kind of brings you a little bit more wisdom, because you know more of what's going on around you rather than just knowing what's right there and what you're in the little box that you're in. So it's always good to get out of that box and learn about all different kinds of things, different perspectives, different lives, different cultures, and different people. And it also helps you appreciate what you have and where you live. So let's say once I started going to different states in my country, I started appreciating it a lot more. I used to think that in order to see great scenery and like enjoy myself in different places, I had to go out of the country, like to Europe or something. Let me tell you, the United States of America is beautiful. And I'm pretty sure if you live in Canada or somewhere else, you're like, you don't notice until you actually go and explore your own country, and you're like, wow. So you appreciate your country more when you go around it and travel. So it brings you, it helps you appreciate different places, but it also helps you appreciate where you live. And when you go to another country, I've gone to other countries and I've appreciated way more where I live. Now, you can still appreciate like the culture and embrace it and respect it, and you know how they live. You can see the pros and the cons, because that's okay to do when you travel. You don't have to love every place that you travel to. And even if you did enjoy yourself and you like it, you can still see like the pros and cons, and that helps you appreciate where you live. It helps you appreciate what you have, but then also it helps you appreciate what others have and how others live, and it helps you respect that. So sometimes you think that where you live isn't all that pretty and isn't all that beautiful, but then you go to different countries and you're like, they also have very nice places and also very ugly places. You know, when you look at all these pictures on Google of all these countries that are so beautiful, those pictures, those countries have their beautiful places and sceneries, just like they have their, not so pretty views, or maybe just like they have these great communities, they also have their bad communities. So it's like the same thing, and so you appreciate and you learn that every place, the whole world has its similarities and its differences. So, and overall, it just brings a lot of more knowledge, a lot more power, experience, appreciation, and it gives you a way, way, way bigger perspective on life. Don't think that you have to be rich to travel. I really can't stand when people think that they have to have money to travel, or maybe they like, when I've expressed the trips that I want to make, people are like, with what money? That doesn't make sense. You can travel. You just, first of all, if you really want to go to a place, you'll save that money and you will keep that money for that. It's all about what you want to do. Whatever you want to do, you can make it happen. You have the power to. It's all in your hands. And there's so many ways to go to different destinations, and you just have to do your research. And that's the only probably hard part, but you can also make it fun. So do your research, and don't think it's impossible to go to your dream destinations. Yes, a lot of different places are going to be pricier and some are going to be cheaper. You probably grow up and you're like, you see all these pictures in textbooks or in movies, and you're like, oh, I wish I could go there. You can. It's really simple. I know a lot of people see traveling as something like that's luxury, and it's not. And you don't have to be rich to travel. You don't have to have a lot of money to travel. There's so many different ways to travel. There's so many different ways to get cheap flights, so many opportunities and chances to get cheap flights, cheap deals, good deals, and there's just so many ways to travel. You just have to do your research. Traveling in general is for anyone and everyone. So if you are interested in traveling and you're interested in learning about the benefits of traveling, then go ahead and do it. So open your mind to all those traveling opportunities, and don't think of it as something that's a luxury. I hope you guys learned about the benefits of traveling and why it is important and how it can help you. I want to do like different videos on like the places that I've been, and maybe like give you guys tips if I think that you're interested in going to the places that I've been to. I want to give you guys like some tips on how to plan your trips and all that. So, and maybe as I go to different places, I'll make videos on them rather than just vlogs. I'll also make like sit down videos and explain all my planning process and when I get there. So I would like to do that as well, because traveling has always been a passion of mine and I plan to travel so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more videos like these. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.